Welcome to Media Melanie TV. Today I am back with a very special guest. I've got Geena the Latina here, and we are going to dive straight into the Summer I Turned Pretty series finale. First and foremost, Geena, thank you for coming on, and why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a radio DJ here in San Diego. I also do TV. So my bio would say radio TV host. And I also have my own podcast and YouTube channel, the Geena the Latina show, which is based on like health and wellness, like completely different from what I do on the radio. But that's to sum it up.
All right. Very cool. And we actually met because we get our hair done at the same place, Beauty Collective Co. here in San Diego. And I see Teresa and you see Desi. So shout out to our hair girls. And I did put their Instagrams down in the description along with a link to your show. So make sure if you're in San Diego, you need your hair done, make sure to connect with our girls and also be sure to hit subscribe on the Geena the Latina show as well.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned the hair thing because we were in the hair, like in the seats, and I don't know what show had just aired. I don't think it was The Summer I Turned Pretty, but I was like just going on and on and on and on talking about like whatever TV show. Do you remember what show we were talking about?
I feel like you were talking about Love Island, and you're like, you need to watch Love Island, and I didn't watch it yet. So you were so passionate about it. I love that, and that's kind of like how this was born.
Yeah, because I like love TV. I usually watch only reality TV, but I definitely watched this one. But it was just cool because I like that's how excited I was. And you're like, oh my God, you know, you should be on the podcast or whatever. And that's like truly my passion. Like just I have group chats with my friends talking about TV shows and things like that. So I am honored to be on your show and get to do what I do actually for a reason other than just texting. My boyfriend's always like, who are you texting? Who are you sending voice notes about whatever show to? I'm all, my friends, don't worry about it.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, this show is awesome. Now, I never read the book, so I was pretty unfamiliar with how it ended, although I did end up Googling some spoilers here. Did you read the books?
No, I did not read the books. I totally stumbled across the entire show probably, I don't know, like 6 or 7 months ago. And then I started just, binge watching it I was like, what is this? Because I'm a TV lover. And then I was like, I got hooked. So I had no clue. And then after I found out that there is books and it's like a whole cult following and all these things, and I'm late to the game, but I got myself caught up.
Love that. Now, okay, we're going to dive into all of our reactions, our thoughts, what worked, what didn't work, some highs from the season and whatnot. But I'm going to start at the end first and just mention this note that Jenny Han dropped post-credits at the end of this finale. I'm going to read it out loud. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for the love you've shown the summer I turned pretty all these years. Whether you've been with Belly since the very first book or joined with us in the show, I'm so grateful you've made Belly's story part of your summer. We put our whole heart into the show, and we're thankful to you for coming along with us for the ride. But here's the important part, Geena. Maybe we'll meet again one summer in Cousins. Until then.
Yes.
Is there a possibility that we are going to get more of The Summer I Turned Pretty in a prequel and some kind of like movie wedding special? What do you think?
Okay, so prequel is how much younger can we get, right? It has to be a sequel. Like, I mean, we're not going to watch them before, like or maybe more of the prequel, but I do think we'll get something. But is there another book? We need a book person here. Is there already another book that like she can go, or is she going to write another book, or is it just going to keep going like TV wise?
Now, I think if there is a slight possibility for a prequel, what if, and I'm just throwing it out there, we got to see Susanna and Laurel and their early summers together in college and like their friendship. Do you think that's something you'd watch, or would you prefer more of like a flash forward, getting to see where everybody is now?
You know what? It would have to be good. You know what? They're interesting though. I would love to see how Belly's mom like got so hurt and why she's so kind of bitter in life. And then how Conrad and Jared's mom is like so nice and how they even became friends. I would be interested. I would give it one episode. And if they got me in one episode, then I would continue to watch. Yes.
Fair.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, Jenny Han also wrote To All the Boys I've Loved Before, and there was actually a spin-off of that into this XO Kitty TV show that she did on Netflix. So she's familiar with spin-offs in general. I think it could happen for me. I would love to see this flash forward where we actually get to see some wedding content or them, I don't know, with kids, and just kind of get to see where everybody ended up. Because at the end, of course, it was Belly and Conrad returning to Cousins. I didn't see a wedding ring or an engagement ring on her finger.
Oh.
So yeah, and then
I didn't even look for that. But what I kept thinking is they better show Jer having a baby with that other girl, because this is just wrong. I felt so bad for Jer at the end, and they didn't give me, like, I want to know that he is happy.
yes, 100%. There were a few moments in there I appreciated. I actually liked that his dad, Adam, sort of came to him and said, look, I don't think you're a fuck up. I don't think that you messed this up. I'm really proud of you. And I think that was a really earned moment. And then when Jer and Denise were holding hands under the table at the end, I actually thought that was really cute. And also just him like finding something that's all his, this cooking and being a chef. I thought that was actually kind of a cute little touch for the Jer storyline.
It was, but they still didn't give him enough. I feel so bad for Jer. Like, Jer has been consistent. Like, Conrad is the boy that you fall in love with, but that's actually not ever going to work out because he's like going to become emotionally unavailable or whatever. And Jer was always a consistent guy. Even the whole quote unquote cheating thing, I don't even think that was cheating. They were on a break, like whatever, right? I feel like we need more, like, Jer needs to show, like, they need to show me why I can't hate Conrad and Belly. Not that I hate them, but you know what I mean? Like, I need to feel like, okay, Jer's fine.
Yes. And Teresa is here in the comments, one of our lovely hair girls. And she said, yes, I thought they were returning to cousins for a wedding for Jer. And I mean, that could definitely be possible. I thought maybe they were returning for their own wedding, but then I rewound and was like, okay, there's definitely no wedding ring here. So maybe that's why they're coming back. And maybe they are teasing some kind of like a time jump or flash forward, because I was expecting that here in the finale. I fully thought we were going to get like half Paris and then half, okay, I don't know, 5 or 10 years from now, and like everybody's happy. I did. I don't know. I was just expecting a time jump for some reason.
Well, I just think that there's always more money to be made. So why flash forward that much? They're keeping it short, so they have so much room. Like, this was such a hit that, it got people that didn't even watch the books involved. So if they did that, then we know too much, right? Like, to me, like, Conrad and Valley look the same age, like maybe like 1 year older, if that. So so I think it was purely a financial decision to keep this story going.
I hope so. I would love more content. And I think a lot of us would. Just like the general sentiments were, it would have been nice to see maybe a little bit more. And let me ask you a question. Were you taken aback by Belly's hair?
So no, I actually liked it. I think it went with the vibe. They were trying to show how sophisticated, such a different person she was in Paris, and how she smokes marijuana now, and how she, she's like, so I think it went with the vibe, and I actually think it looked good on her. But in one scene, it made her look like really old for some reason. I was like, wait, now that's not believable anymore. But no, I liked her hair. I think it's part of her whole thing. But at the end scene, was her hair long again? Because that would show the timeline.
Yeah, it looked like it, right? Because she was wearing it up in a bun, so you would think that it's longer. Now, I texted Teresa and I was like, hey, is this a wig? And she's like, yes, it is a wig. It is like dry. It's a little bit bubbly. So at first I was a little taken aback, but to your point, it does show how much growth Belly has had in Paris. And a lot of people have been kind of like, why are we getting Paris within these last couple episodes? It seems abrupt, but I think it was necessary to really like transition the story and also show us how much growth Belly has had as a character.
Yeah, so I'm like very realistic. Okay. So there's a few scenes that I was like, okay, so she was going into her senior year in college. So she finished it in Paris, but then she worked 2 jobs too. And then she didn't go back to her graduation. Like, it didn't seem a little bit like who just leaves to Paris for like their final senior year? I guess she did. Right. And then she said she turned 22. So I'm like doing the timeline or whatever. But what about that train scene? Because that's where I really had a problem with their editing.
Oh, okay. What was your biggest problem with the train scene?
Okay, so before we get into like, oh, it's so great and all that.
Spoilers. We should also say spoilers, by the way. We forgot to say that at the top. If for some reason you have not watched the finale of The Summer I Turned Pretty, that's what we're here to talk about. So don't be upset if we ruin anything for you, because that's why we're here. So, okay. Spoiler alert said.
So this is the way my mind thinks. So I'm seeing that final train scene where she's like, goes back and is looking for him, and she finally finds him. She's already caused a scene on the train because she's gone through like 3 little buses or whatever they are, gets there. professes her love, says whatever she needs to say. He gets up, they, they do the whole thing, and there's no one around them watching. Because if I was a passenger on that train, I would have full on been watching. This is like a real life TV show. They should have had everybody stand up and clap. Like, where was everybody else in the scene? I know it was for dramatics, but I wish they would have made it a little bit more realistic, because there's no way that that whole thing goes down and you're telling me the person next to you didn't even know what was going on.
That is a fair point, because it was playing out like a rom-com movie 100%. Yeah. So I wasn't thinking that or tracking that, but you were spot on. I mean, how is nobody reacting? You would definitely expect people to be like, oh my God, this is a total love story. And yeah, I guess we didn't get that. And were you mad at Belly, like after they got together? And she was just so in her feelings and just refusing to accept that she did love Conrad. And then she just let him go. Like, did you think that was it? Or did you see the whole train scenario coming?
So when he's like, I love you, and she's like, and I was like, dude, that was rude, dude. like God, and, but I understand where she was coming from, because he's let her down so many times, and she's finally like got this new life in Paris, and like, why are you coming back now? So I was okay with her reaction. Another thing I didn't understand. So she's like, oh my God, when she realizes it, and she looks out the window and he's not there. And then she's running down the street, and then she's running to find him in the train station. I would have believed it if you showed me that she called him and it went to voicemail. Because why are you doing all this? Why don't you just call the person?
Like, nobody's using their phone in this show, right? I mean, yeah, that is definitely a fair point. And I was worried that he was going to get away and she wasn't actually going to catch him in time. And then, like, what is she going to do at this point? Like, go to Brussels? I mean, come on.
She was on the train. I mean, she was going. But with that said, though, I think that's consistent with the show. It is like unbelievable almost, but that's why we love it, because you fall in love. It's like, it's something that you like wish would have happened so perfectly. And then they're in Paris, which is like the city of love. I feel, as someone says, when I was in Paris, I found love, and that official John Charles Aguilar, right? And so it is true. That's how, I've never been to Paris, but that's how I imagine it to be. So they gave us that too. And that's why we like these kind of shows. It's like not reality, but we feel like it can be reality.
Hold the phone. There's a comment in here from Nancy saying that they announced a movie. Now, I Googled this literally right before we got on, and I didn't see anything about a movie.
Oh my God, we need a producer here to tell us this.
I know, right? Somebody needs to Google this. Okay, I see you're Googling it. Let's see what intel we can find. Because it makes sense that they're doing a movie. I mean, they have to do a movie. We have to see Belly and Conrad get married at this point.
Subway to a pretty movie set at Amazon and following series finale movie Greenlit at Prime Video 1 hour ago. Yeah, summer movie Greenlit at Prime. So, okay, so if they're going to do a movie, is it like they're doing a movie of the TV, or is it continuation, or like what are we getting here? Oh my God. They just announced it. Yes.
Oh my gosh. This is so exciting. Okay. First of all, I am hoping that this movie is going to be set, I don't know, right before their wedding. Maybe it starts with them actually getting engaged, if we didn't see the engagement ring with them walking back to cousins. Maybe it is first going to be a wedding with Jer and Denise, and, Jer moved to San Francisco with Steven and Taylor and whatnot. And by the way, I don't know, I didn't love Steven and Taylor in that whole storyline early on, but I am so here for them now. And the line when Taylor was like, why didn't you ask me to move with you? And she said, before I would have been scared and blown this all up. And now I'm just afraid that you don't know that I am so vested in this relationship. And that just really got me. I really like them together.
I love them. Like, they're so chaotic. She's chaotic. He's her stability, but then he's a little chaotic, but I love them together. They are seriously my favorite couple. They seemed problematic, but they really weren't. Like, you always knew they loved each other. Like with Belly, you never knew she always loved Conrad. I was getting a little annoyed of the back and forth. So if they do a sequel, I can't do any more back and forth with those. Like, Conrad is it. No more Jer. Let him be happy. I hope he gets what's Steven's business partner's name?
Denise.
If it's not her, someone else. But I can't do any more back and forth. Like, that's enough. I was like, girl, choose.
Yes, it has to be Belly and Conrad. And Teresa mentioned, it should be picking up where the show left off. And I think that just it makes a lot more sense as to why they ended the show like they did, knowing that they were going to do a movie. Because let me tell you, if they weren't going to do a movie, I just don't know how satisfied I was going to be with just watching
Really?
them come back to Cousins. Like, I did want more. I wanted wedding, I wanted a flash forward, I wanted all these things. And yeah, it gave me goosebumps, but I just could not be happier to now hear that there's going to be a movie. This is like amazing
Yes.
news.
And I wish we weren't on live because I'd have time to read this whole article and put my glasses on. But speaking of Cousins, is what I was going to say. Is so when they went back to Cousins, how like not fake is that place, but or those places have to really exist, right? Or do they? I don't know. I was like, do these places really exist in America?
So they film in Wilmington, North Carolina. I had done a preview of season 3 with my friend Sherry at Teen Drama Whore, and she lives in Wilmington where they do the filming. So I assume that house is actually a real place. I mean, I guess it could be a soundstage, and of course they're playing it to be like Massachusetts, Martha's Vineyard, type situation. I grew up in Massachusetts.
So
I mean, it feels real, but like, God, that house is gorgeous.
I meant not the actual house. I meant like are there like places where people go there for the summer and they all know each other year after year and they go to these balls? Like, because I didn't come from areas like that. So I'm like, do these places really exist? They do, right?
I think so, yeah. So growing up in Massachusetts, like a lot of people had Cape Cod houses. And because this is supposed to be set in Massachusetts, I think it's meant to be like, okay, we're going to go to our Cape house for the summer. Now, just like I never had a Cape house or a summer house at all either. And I guess like the Hamptons in New York too, right? People like going to the Hamptons. So I think that they exist, but probably not as much like for us here in Southern California, because we already sort of live in this vacation destination. But I guess it's maybe like people having a house at Big Bear or Lake Arrowhead or something. Maybe. I don't know.
A little nicer. Okay. Yeah. So with that, I also, sorry, my mind is all over the place. So we have to talk about the scene. Okay. And I had a question because I'm a new fan. I said, had they actually done that before? Or was that the first time? You know what I'm talking about?
The first time that they got together.
Like actually, like made love or whatever, or did I miss that before? Because
so they did. It was like the fireplace scene, I believe, in season 2 when they were together, because Belly, the only 2 guys that she'd ever been with were Jer and Conrad. And I'm actually really glad that she got to go to Paris and experience Benito. And actually one line I loved was when he's like, I'll always be the boy, or, you'll always be the boy who taught me how to ride a scooter. And then Conrad chimes in, I'll always be the boy who taught you how to ride a bike. And like my heart was just melting over these lines.
So these are different between you, because I was like, Benito needs to hit that guy right now, because there you are. You already stole my girl. You're stealing my line now. Let Benito have his moment, right? But he didn't. He didn't hit him.
I thought they were still together too, just based on the way she got off of the scooter and whatnot. But then I guess they said, it's been 6 weeks since Belly broke his heart. And another thing was everybody calls Belly Isabel in Paris. And when Conrad was like, oh, do you want me to call you Isabel? And she thinks about it. She's like, no, I want you to call me Belly. Just all these little lines. And then when she's like, did you memorize everything I've ever said? I mean, that got me. Like, I loved it. I was trying to just channel how they were feeling in that moment, like a little bit of awkwardness, a little bit of electricity. And I think they actually did a good job like portraying their whole interaction in Paris altogether.
Yeah, they did, definitely. Because like when they were doing the intimate scene, for some reason, like I thought that was the first one. But once you said that, I do remember her saying, I've only been with 2 guys. But so they did a good job of making it. I felt like that was like the representative. It was the first time like as a woman, because she was a woman now. Like we started her like watching her as she was a girl. And by the time Paris came, she was a woman, which was a completely different Belly. But then she went back to being, following her heart and running on the train and doing what little teenage Belly would do.
100%. And Conrad giving her the sand and saying it's so nice to be under the same moon as you again. I just like every word that came out of his mouth was just pure love, the way he looked at her. And I was actually mad at Belly at first for being so standoffish, but I also think that she kind of had to be like in order to get where she got and have it just click like, hey, I have brown eyes, I have brown hair, and I've always loved Conrad Fisher. I loved that.
Yeah, I mean, I like that line for sure. Maybe I'm what is it called? Like a cynic or whatever.
Cynic,
yeah, but I'm like, is he going to let her down now in this movie or in the sequel? Because the whole time, all of the seasons, like I know guys like Conrad, like, you know, you can have this great connection. Doesn't mean they're the right choice because they always like somehow get lost or do this or, you know, like whatever. And so I'm like, I feel like they made him look almost too perfect in this episode. Like there were no flaws all of a sudden to make us forget about all his flaws from season 1 and season 2. Because I kept going back and forth between Team Conrad, Team Jer, and ultimately before this final episode, I was Team Jer because I felt like he was more constant. And in real life, and again, I'm more real. I don't know. In real life, Jer is who would be there for you. Conrad would get in his emotions and go God knows where and go MIA for 6 months.
Yeah, I can see that. I was Jer pretty early on, but then I definitely became more Team Conrad. And to your point, I mean, they are making him seem like he's perfect, but I don't know, at the same time, there's something about the way he said, you know, I've tried to change everything about myself, but the one thing that stays true is that I still love you.
Love
And
you.
I think this whole episode was just one big like love letter from Conrad. I mean, he was writing her the letters. He's like, why did it take you so long to write back to me? And this will they, won't they? And I don't know, I didn't mind perfect Conrad, but if they are doing a movie, is it just going to be more of this perfection to your point? Like, is that just too much? Like, what is the tension going to be in the movie then, right?
I know. And it's going to make us upset when he goes and cheats on her or something. That's where my mind goes. But I don't think they would ever, like in these kind of shows, they give us what we want, which is true love to make it in the end. But yeah, they're going to have to cause some kind of like for us to watch.
Yeah, and is there going to be a component where when Belly sees Jer again for the first time, there are feelings brought up? I hope not, because the love triangle of it all is
Weird.
not great for a family, right? I mean, it's created a lot of problems. And at one point, Belly even says, you know, I'm not sure if I love you because I actually love you or because we were supposed to love each other because this is what we were told from such a young age. Like, and there is a component of that having known each other their whole life. So I thought that was just an interesting statement that she made too.
I mean, she's right. That's grown up Belly, like analyzing everything and really thinking like, you know, and that's why like, I like that she ran after him. I do. Okay. Cause that's what we want. But like all those thoughts were very valid. And in the real life, like I might have just let him go. I might have just let him go. Maybe it's just my experience, like, you know, being with, like, I don't know. Like she was right in all those thoughts. She was right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I actually thought she was going to let him go. And when she made that other comment, like, or Conrad said, the way I feel about you, Belly, has nothing to do with my mom. If I met you for the first time tonight, I love you. And then Belly says something like, of all the or something. Oh, sorry, I got a little messed up. First of all, of all the mistakes I have made, I have to believe I'm still worthy of love. And there was the villain component of it all, which is where I was trying to get at here. Belly's been holding this thing where she was the villain in all of this the whole time. And I like that Conrad sort of let her off the hook for that because I don't think Belly was the villain in all this. Like these are young people finding their way and working their way through love. Do you see Belly as a villain? Or if not, like who do you think was the main antagonist throughout all of this?
If I'm being honest, she kind of was the villain. How can you go back and forth between two brothers? I understand feelings, but at some point you just got to be like, hey, this isn't cool. Like with that said, I will give her, they were very young. You make them, you do that when you're young. So I will do that. So that's why I'm okay with it up until now. But if she's well into her 20s, still going back and forth between those brothers, no, I'm done. I'm cutting her off. So I don't think I wouldn't call her a villain. I think they were learning, you know, and she like, you know, though that's what she knew was those boys, you know, but no more. You're done. You're grown up now. You can't keep going back and forth.
She is grown up. And when she even said, you know, something like in every dimension of the world or every dimension or universe of
every
whoever
lifetime.
I am, I choose you every single time. And that got me. And I think that for me just like affirmed that she is endgame with Conrad 100%. So it does make me question though with the movie. I mean, just keep going back to that. Like, okay, they're just going to come back and give us more happy endings. That doesn't track. Now, let me ask you this. I think it was the last episode, John was saying something about either having heartburn or headache or something, and Laurel was going to go in the cabinet and find it. I was convinced that John was actually going to have some kind of like heart condition or I don't know, he was going to die. And then I'm like, no, it's too much. Susanna already died. So maybe there will be some component of like one of the parents. And do you think Laurel and Adam would ever get together after that little comment he made about the singles cruise?
Okay, wait. Adam is whose dad?
Adam is
John?
Jer's dad, and he was the one who was like, hey, we should all go on a singles cruise, and made a
Oh,
comment about Belly's mom and dad sort of burning out since they're not
yeah.
seeing each other anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not with Kaylee, and I was really glad we didn't
No.
have to see like the homewrecker Kaylee again. I was just over her the first time she came on the screen.
Okay, so that might be that they do little things like that. I'm sure they already have this movie planned for like, a while now. So they do kind of like, I've reviewed so many things in my job and the radio. They do drop in little hints. I hope not, because I just cannot see them working out. However, yes, I mean, that would provide some conflict. Like, but is this guy going to be a changed man? Because he's been an a-hole throughout all three. Like, he was nice one time in the last episode to Jer, which I questioned to that niceness. I'm like, is that really you? But yeah, you're right. I mean, that could be another angle. But what about the dad, Bally and Steven's dad? Like, he's just left off to the side, left off. I like them together. Why can't they just get back together? I don't get that.
I like them together too, and maybe that'll be part of the storyline in the movie. And everybody moves off to San Francisco. Maybe Belly and Conrad are back there, and then Jer and Denise and Steven and Taylor. But again, I mean, too many happy endings. Like there has to be something. And for everybody who's in the comments, what do you think would be the like dramatic tension storyline that we could see in the movie? Because it has to be something.
I think now that I'm thinking about it, now that they've dropped, like, that's an Easter egg. Okay. That's what you said. Like, that's an Easter egg that they dropped, that little thing. It's a potential, right? They've probably dropped a lot of storylines of possibilities. So maybe they're waiting to see the reaction from fans to see, who do we love? Do we love Jeremiah and Steven's coworker, whatever her name is? Do we love Steven and Taylor? Do we love Bally and Steven's mom and their dad? Like, what are the fans loving? Because they did leave a lot of, like, it could go any way. So maybe they're kind of leaving it
open-ended. And we never saw Agnes again. So Agnes, the redhead, Conrad's friend in California, they were working together. Is that intentional? Because maybe she could be inserted as something moving forward, where they've always been friends, and then all of a sudden Conrad and Belly are so happy, and then Agnes. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I always thought, that's what I was going to bring up earlier too. Like, where was that hookup? Like, I was waiting for that hookup to, like, so if you pay attention, they do drop a lot of Easter eggs to really go any other way. Hair by Teresa said, I saw that Adam and Kale were possibly pregnant, but that never happened. Which one's Adam?
Adam is Jer and Conrad's dad, and Kaylee was the homewrecker, his secretary that he was with. And I'm so glad she's not pregnant, because I don't need like a half Fisher child to go into the mix. I never liked Kaylee. I hate that Adam cheated on Susanna.
I know.
And they did try really hard to make him come around to be more of a good guy by the end of it. But to your point, I mean, do we actually believe that in the first place?
I think what they did with her was weird too, because Jared never found out that his dad cheated, right? Like, Conrad's kept that secret, right? Or did I?
No, that was a whole other thing. He never found out. And then another thing we never got was Belly opening Susanna's letter that we saw from the wedding day. I wanted to see that. So that also makes me think, okay, maybe we will actually get the wedding, and we'll finally get to see what was inside that letter in this movie.
And another one, like, poor Jared, man, like, all this, and he gets the wrong letter too, man. They just did Jared dirty on this. Like, they did him dirty.
I mean, they did. There were definitely some things I did not love about Jer and the way he always treated Belly, but they were best friends at the heart of all of it. And this episode was called At Last. I thought it was actually going to be called Last Love, because every episode's been like last Christmas, last year, last whatever. And then there was the line at the beginning of the season where, first loves are important, but last loves are the ones that matter. So maybe it's not last love, because maybe Conrad actually is not Belly's last love. I mean, I hope not. I want them to be endgame, but again, something has to happen.
I think they have to leave Conrad and Belly alone. Do you think that they could possibly leave them alone, and maybe they're just sub characters, and that we're going to follow somebody else in this franchise completely and follow their love story? I think that's the only way it would work, because honestly, I'm over them now. I love them, but I'm over it. Like what else are we going to do with them? I think they need to be sub characters.
I mean, I love them, and I'm so glad their end game. I've been rooting for this the entire time. And we've also had a lot of the Steven and Taylor, and now by all counts, they seem to have a happy ending as well. She's going to move to San Francisco with him. She's going to be this badass PR bitch or whatever. But is not everybody can just have these happy endings. So maybe there is something that like tears them apart, because what are the odds that Belly and her best friend both get the happy endings with the guy they've loved the whole time? It just does seem pretty unrealistic.
Yeah, but the whole show is unrealistic, so you never know. The Alois 34 says there are only 20 somethings in the show, so I expect some growing points to be the tension, which is true, but they can't just be regular growing points. I mean, this show is dramatic. You have some one girl going back and forth between brothers, yet they're all still family, and then she ends up with, everything's perfect. Like, it's going to have to be something major.
And Nancy's here in the comments. They could have Jer end up with a guy. You never know. They portrayed him to be bisexual. And actually, I would kind of like that. It would subvert our expectations a little. I mean, yeah, we know he's into guys, but that would actually be something I would love to see them explore more.
That was another thing that they just did so quickly. I think it was season 1 or 2?
I think season 1, yeah.
It was like one episode, you see Jer hooking up with a guy, and then you never see it again. It's almost like if you move your head, you look around like, wait. Wasn't he hooking up with a guy? Wait, now he's with Bally. Like, they didn't really talk about it or anything. Not that they need to, but I was just like, I even asked my boyfriend, I'm like, wait. He's like, yeah. Like, and then they just kind of move forward and never touched on that again. So another Easter egg, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that will come back. And, something that I've loved about the show all season long is the needle drops, right? I mean, you work for a radio station, you're into music, and out of all these needle drops in the last episode, we did get 2 Taylor Swift songs. I've been kind of tracking that. We got Dress, which is a super sexually charged song for Belly and Conrad at the end. We got Out of the Woods with Belly chasing Conrad. That was great. Phoebe Bridgers, Scott Street, The Kiss in the Rain and all that. But the song I liked the most was actually the Noah Kahan and Gracie Abrams, Everywhere, Everything, when Steven and Taylor kiss. And I love Noah Kahan. I think he's fantastic. Yeah. They've had some other Gracie Abrams in there. Were there any standout songs for you throughout the season that you're still just like, that was just the right banger at the right time?
I must have been so into the show, because I didn't even know that. I did not even notice. I work in music. We play all this music. I was so into what was going on. I didn't even know. Like, I mean, that means that they were perfect, so the answer, no. I honestly, I mean, obviously the music is part of it, but I was not even paying attention to it, and nor have I until you said this.
Which is a testament to how entertaining the show actually is. It's not one where you're just sitting and scrolling on your phone. And I've just loved the presence of Taylor Swift. I wouldn't say I'm a total Swiftie, but I do have appreciation for her music, especially more recent music. I love that she owns her masters. And this was one of the shows that she personally handpicked to put her music in. And I think that just even adds a little bit more depth to the perfection of the song choices in some of those moments.
And I think one of the reasons, I mean, I don't know why she chose them, but I could say, if you look at Taylor Swift, she had a lot of failed relationships, kind of ups and downs, until she found her Prince Charming, which is similar to the storyline in this, maybe with less people or whatever, but, ups and downs until you so as I just keep the love story never ending, that song with Taylor Swift. I just think that it's parallel to her life. So I feel like this would be a show that Taylor loved. And I guess she really is a living example that love stories can come true. Here I am being a cynic, but I think when she did that podcast, she said something at some point I thought Travis Kelce was crazy because he was doing all these outlandish stuff for me. But then I thought, I've also been singing and writing about this my whole life. And it came true, her Prince Charming. So, and that's what happens in the movie. So look, it can come true. I think Taylor Swift is very fitting for this show. And I didn't even know that her songs were in there. I didn't pay attention.
Yeah, no, I think it was great. I loved all of that stuff. And I've just got to say, when I watched the podcast with Travis and Taylor, I am so happy for people that I've just never met in my entire life. The way they look at each other, to your point, it really does sort of mimic the whole Conrad and Belly here. And someone in the comments is asking, official John Charles Aguilar, who's going to play at Taylor's wedding? That's a good question, because they're getting married now. I mean, is she going to have a Sabrina Carpenter, Gracie Abrams wedding? Who is going to play at Taylor Swift's wedding?
So, I mean, he did say yesterday, Travis Kelce, that they're definitely not going to, he insinuated that they're not going to have a DJ. They're more of a live band type of person, or live music. So, I mean, it could really be anyone. She has so many favorite artists. I mean, so many friends that are artists. They really can pick whoever. But will Taylor get on the mic and sing herself? I mean, I would if I was Taylor Swift.
I would too. And I would write the best original song, debut it at the wedding, and then it's going to be just another worldwide hit. I love that for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love that. Now let me ask you this, like, top favorite moment from this finale, like the number one thing that got you the most, gave you all the feels and the goosebumps, what was it?
Okay, I took notes. I think when they're finally okay, so two maybe two now. I think the one that gave me the most goosebumps is when they're finally like like they're in the room, they rip each other's clothes off and all that, because I don't know, in my head for some reason I'm like, are they finally having But also another moment though that was good is right before that when they were dancing outside in Paris and they started talking about prom and how it was just a whole like when you're a kid you imagine prom to be perfect and anything that goes wrong it's like a horrible prom, and because we're envisioning like, oh, like it's like a fake scenario, right? But in present time, she was actually having everything she envisioned as a 17-year-old in real life, like dancing under the stars with your love in Paris. That is what you envision prom to be. Prom is never like that, but she got that in real life. So I thought that was a cool, whatever they want, juxtapose,
A
whatever they call
parallel
it.
type thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah,
like that she acknowledged, I was kind of a brat about the whole thing. And that just shows too that she is able to own her actions, that
yeah.
Conrad was able to make all these changes and do all these things. And another thing that really got me was I didn't love that he didn't tell Belly not to go to Paris, but she decided not to go because of Jer. But Belly had a line in there when Conrad's going to go to Brussels, and she's like, you should go to the meeting. I never want to hold you back from anything. And Steven had another thing. I never want to hold Taylor back from anything.
Yeah,
I think that is just like the definition of a healthy relationship, that they want what's
absolutely.
best for each other and to shine and do what makes them happy. And I don't know, something about that I just loved.
To give Jared credit, though, I know I seem like I'm I just feel bad for Jared.
Okay.
He did tell, why do I always forget her name? Steven's partner. What is her name
Taylor.
again? No, I'm sorry, not Steven's.
Oh,
Steven's business partner.
Denise,
Yeah,
Big
he
D.
does tell Denise like, "Hey, Bally wanted remember when he's talking about how he was so codependent, pretty much." And do you remember? And he
Yes.
tells her, Bally wanted to go to Paris, and she was willing to not go for me. And I know she really wanted to go, and I let her stay, and I shouldn't have. Like, I should have let her go. So he kind of has a grown moment too, even though he had done that before. The same thing, like he knows, like looking back, he should have never held her back. So I think they all grow up, right, in this episode.
They do, and I really liked where Jer ended up. I liked how seriously he was taking being a chef, because he has not taken a lot of things very seriously. College, for instance, he didn't get the right classes, his credit, all these different things. But to find something that he's passionate about and that really comes through and shines through, and that Taylor and Jer were actually working together on it, I
Yeah,
thought that was just perfection. And the food they were showing, the dessert, and then the
yeah.
Denise kiss, there was a lot of good Jer content in there. So I was overall happy with like where he
And
ended
did
up.
I miss? Okay, so I remember I was like, when he was like, when they're doing the cook, I always confused because I know like I have ADD, but I was like, wait, when did he become a cook? I do remember him sending like she was trying to make his Thanksgiving Day stuffing recipe or whatever. So I remember that being a cook. But was there other parts that I just didn't like pay attention to? Like, when did all of a sudden he develop this love for cooking? Besides the Thanksgiving Day recipe he gave Bally that she didn't do good, I think.
It's
Remember?
funny you say that, because I actually was kind of thinking the same thing. And the only moment that really stood out for me was when they were planning the wedding, and then he wanted like the certain cupcakes or cake or whatever the
Oh yeah,
wedding
yeah,
cake was.
yeah,
Like, he
yeah.
was very particular about it. So
Yeah.
maybe that was something earlier on. But now I'm trying to rack my brain and think, what were
What
some
else?
other moments? I mean, I don't know that there were. He wasn't always
It,
like cooking Belly these romantic dinners or anything, like, ever, right?
and there probably are if you go back and watch it, you like watch it again in retrospect, because like these authors like, and they throw things in from day one that like, I don't know how they write books. I've never written a book, but it almost feels sometimes like they write backwards, because there'll be stuff that you didn't notice, that from the first episode to like, if it was a book or first book to the third book, they're like, oh dang. So maybe there were minor moments even as a child that if we went back and look, we're like, oh, I see. Like, he cared about the food. Or, oh wait, did he used to cook her on her birthday? Did he used to make her food, or did that was that Conrad?
That was
Like, I bet you.
Conrad for some reason. And
Oh,
Conrad
okay.
was the one like making her food during
Oh
season
yeah.
3 when she wasn't eating, and he's
That's
left a
what,
plate for her. So it was more food driven with Conrad, I think.
yeah, that's what Hair by Teresa said. If anything, Conrad did. He knows how to cook chicken. So, I mean, it could really go any way. It's sad that a lot of sad that we're talking about this on the radio, that a lot of the characters got a lot of hate in real life. Like, people like identified with their characters so much that they were going in on them. I'm like, what is wrong with people?
There is nothing I hate more. Like, overall, there is so much toxicity within TV fandoms, and I've witnessed the most insane, unhinged, and toxic behaviors. Actually, so much so, I've wanted to do a documentary on it because the way people
Crazy.
treat these actors is wild. These are
I
fictional
know.
characters. We have to be able to separate the art from the real life person. And even if, let's say, we don't necessarily agree with some of the, let's say, political leanings of certain characters or the actors who play them, that doesn't mean we need to attack them for like their looks or like that's what really gets me when people are like,
Yeah.
oh, he's too skinny, belly is just not that attractive. Who are
Who
you to
cares?
be
Yeah.
doing this and saying this? Like, what's wrong? Yes, exactly.
Well, it's because people say it behind the keyboard. I always say this, like they're quick to say things online, but in person, I bet you none of them would say that anytime.
Yeah.
So,
Keyboard
that's the culture
warriors.
we live in. But I was like, dude, they're actors. They're not their real characters, like, or whatever, But yeah, I hopped onto this whole fandom late, and I'm not like I'm not ever really like on chats and stuff like that. But so I haven't seen it as much, but I did see that one, and I thought that was a little nuts.
Yeah, I don't love that. And speaking of things that we don't love, what was the lowest thing from the series finale that you think maybe didn't work or that we didn't need? Like, was there too much time in Cousins? Should we have had more Paris, or like what moments or endings were you kind of like not satisfied with?
I feel like I think the middle got a little long. Maybe it was like season 2 when they were they were cousins a little bit longer. I wish I would have saw college maybe a little bit more, because it's like all of a sudden they're in college and they're in love, and they're like, it went fast forward from like high school to like senior year in college or junior year, and I was like, what happened in between? I feel like there could have been a lot of drama in that, like, and like within those 3 years, because college is kind of crazy. They could have added some stuff, but I think probably just that time. I could see more Paris. I was starting to like Belly in Paris, but you leave her there any longer, she's not coming back.
Yeah, exactly. And I was actually
Yeah.
thinking, is Conrad going to stay in Paris and give up on his dreams just to be with Belly, which is something I wouldn't have wanted to see because I firmly believe all these characters and just people in real life should always be pursuing what they want to do. And when you find a partner that actually loves you, that, they'll support you in whatever it is and make it work. So I'm glad that Conrad didn't stay in Paris. I think that would have been like ridiculous.
Yeah, but they seem like he was willing to give it up. And that's another character, quote unquote, flaw, whatever you want to call it, they could touch on. Like, is he going to become, how Belly was obsessed with him all her life? Is he going to be too much for Belly? And she's going to be like, okay, this is too much, like too obsessed with her.
It's possible, especially given how long it actually took her to acknowledge her feelings and come around to it. But she also, like all the flashbacks and all the stuff and the infinity necklace and the bear and when they have the carnival flashbacks. I mean,
Yeah.
also that just sort of fluffs up how much they have been a part of each other's life. So maybe having the history and having this mutual love for each other for so long and as deep as it is, maybe it will work, and maybe it will be some other sort of storyline that we see in the movie. And by the way, I just can't believe we're getting a movie. I'm so glad that somebody brought this up in the comments because, like I said, I was looking this morning, I'm Googling like season 4. Is there going to be a continuation? So the fact that we're getting this movie is so exciting. I can't wait to read the entire article to figure out, like, have they started filming it and just
I
more details on
know.
that. We might have to do a whole separate video on
I
what we
know.
know about the movie and previewing it.
So when asked about revisiting the series, that's the
Yep,
author,
Jenny
writer,
Han.
and
Yep.
I love the world, I love the cast and the people I work with. So it's really all a matter of the right story and putting the story first. Yeah, she said she emphasized that season 3 was okay. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. They're not giving us, but we need more time to investigate. We found this out in news when we're live. We don't have time. We don't have producers in the back.
Yeah,
Reading.
exactly. I mean, maybe we should have a producer someday. That'll be
Yeah.
be great when that time comes. But
Yes.
yeah, just the breaking news of the movie makes sense. After reading that letter last night, I'm like, what do you mean we will see you one summer in Cousins again? They can't just like show that and then not say anything. So the PR of this show in general has been great as well. And typically these shows give out screeners to YouTube reviewers, they didn't give out a lot of screeners for this. It was very limited. They didn't want any spoilers to happen. And I think that really works because something that I cannot stand are spoilers of shows and people that get screeners, people who spoil things. So I liked that it was such a surprise and they really held it back and they kept this movie under wraps because nobody was talking about a movie. People were like,
Yeah.
okay, maybe a bonus episode, maybe a season 4, but a movie? Let's go.
That's why I want to know more about the author, and I haven't really looked into it. Like, are there more books? Does she do a whole, like, does she have another whole book thing on cousins, on a whole other characters or something? Like, I don't know anything about her, and I didn't do any research, because they do that with some of these movies. They'll like take it and, you know, do other, like, other forms of their books or whatever.
Yeah, from my understanding, there were the three books, and the book series ended at a similar kind of time like the show did. From what I read, it
Okay.
sounds like Belly and Conrad ended up reconnecting after college and dating and getting married. And I guess that was it. But a lot of the book readers, I guess, weren't satisfied with the ending. And then Jenny Han said she changed the ending of the show from the
Yeah.
book as well. So it doesn't seem like it was like that much of a change if her and
Yeah. What was
Conrad
the
still end
change?
up together. Like, what was the big change? I need a book reader in the comments to like
I
clarify this
know.
for us.
Yeah, like what? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Because I read in the last, so on the last episode before she goes to Paris, the difference was that Conrad wasn't at the airport, I think. I think I read about that. But yeah, they're minor changes. They're not like anything that's like crazy.
Yes, yes. And someone is asking, can you elaborate on what the show's about for people who have never seen it? Uh, Love triangle between Belly and the Fisher brothers. They vacationed at the same spot because their moms were best friends, knew each other their whole lives, and there was always this push and pull between Belly, Jeremiah, and Conrad. So it's always been like, are you team Conrad? Are you team Jer? And then the other elements of the moms, right? Susanna, who is Jeremiah and Conrad's mom, passes away at some point. She's a really big part of the story. I loved Susanna, and I
Yeah.
miss her so much. Anytime they mentioned her, they showed the letters or anything, I got tears in my eyes this season. I miss her so much as a character.
So do you think that maybe they will base it on her and Bally's mom, because she is beloved, I think. And I think people would want to know about her. And the only way to know about her is to go back and do a
Maybe,
prequel.
yes, maybe we will see some flashbacks in there, kind of like embedded with whatever we're seeing in the future or where the show left off, because Susanna was such an important part of the show. And I'll be honest, I didn't love Laurel, Belly's mom,
No.
a lot of the times throughout the series. I didn't like how she wasn't really supportive of the wedding as a whole. And I'm glad she ended up coming around. But I was always more, okay, I love Susanna, Laurel, and not so much. So maybe some backstory on them would make sense in some
Yeah,
way.
I think we need to understand why Laurel is the way she is. Because I think when they portray people like that, like there's a reason why she is so hard. Or I mean, she explains it a little, says she got married to their dad so young and she didn't have time to explore. That's why she wanted Bally not to get married. So you hear like tidbits of it. And even her and her ex-husband talk about it a little bit, but we don't know the full story. So I think back to, now that I'm like thinking about your question, I kind of like them going back to the parents and seeing like their lives to see how we ended up in cousins, even, because I'm sure, I bet you Laurel used to go with the mom when they were younger or in college or whatever, and they have their whole, like it could be that whole, their whole life in cousins before the kids, and why
Yeah.
cousins was so like special to them or whatever. Because we jump in just knowing that it's so special. We don't really see the backstory of why it's so important to Susanna.
Right. And now, okay, we know there's one movie, but what if it ends up being a movie franchise as well? Because to your
Mhm.
point, you mentioned before, this is a money maker. They're in it
Yeah.
not only to tell the story, but to make the money. So if there is more money to be had, it's like the Dexter franchise. You know, they have a prequel, they have a sequel, they have another spinoff. It's making money for the show. So maybe we'll get more than one movie, and that's how they could do it. But that said, too, if we do get a prequel, and it involves when the kids were younger. The kids are now too old to dress up like they're 10 or 15 years old. Like now they're adults. So we'd also have to recast younger Jeremiah, younger Belly, younger Conrad, etc., which could be
Mm,
interesting. But I also don't love sometimes the casting of when they either age back or age up
yeah. But do
people.
we even need them? Like we need to know before they were even born.
That's true. If we're just focusing on the moms, yeah, we definitely don't need them. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that
I
makes
mean,
sense.
I
I'm
think
trying
they'll
to
definitely leave it open to, like, again, they leave it open to see how it goes. So the first movie is going to be left open to make more movies. Now, whether they make more movies really depends on how well it does. If it does well, they're going to figure it out. They're going to make a way. Yeah.
absolutely. Trilogy
Yeah.
incoming. And now I'm thinking, okay, who would they cast as a younger Laurel, as a younger Susanna? I'm going to have to put some thought
Ooh.
into that because
Hmm.
not having known about the movie, I'm like, okay, who's like a 20s blonde actress? that could really pull off like the niceness of Susanna. Laurel, I could maybe see like Maya Lowe from Yellow Jackets, and she's also in
Mm.
My Life with the Walter Boys. Maybe.
Oh, I like. Wait, she's in My Life with the Walter Boys. Which girl? The main girl?
No, Kylie, who is like the friend of the main girl.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
thinking
yeah,
of her
yeah,
name
yeah.
right
Okay,
now.
okay,
She's
okay.
got a
Yeah, I know
pretty
who you're talking
minor role,
about.
and her role in Yellow Jackets was actually recast. Her
Okay.
character was Jen, and they recast her in Yellow Jackets, probably so she could work on My Life with the Walter Boys. But she could actually be a potential there. I'm gonna have to put some more thought into that. But anybody in the comments, if anybody is popping into your head as to who could play Susanna or Laurel in their 20s, drop it down and let us know.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll find someone.
Ooh, Sydney Sweeney. I can see
Yeah,
that. She is so like sultry and whatnot.
yeah.
I feel like she's
That's
not like
Susanna?
good girl enough. Like maybe she's a little too like edgy. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I
I
do like
also
Sydney
think
Sweeney.
I think they're gonna have to even go younger than Sydney Sweeney. I'm not saying she's old, but they're gonna have to even go younger because if they want to start this, they're gonna have to pick someone that they can keep going with. So
Yeah,
I'm
good
thinking
point.
someone who's like maybe 19 now or 20, or at least looks that. I'm not saying she doesn't, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
The
really
girl
gonna have
from
to think.
Cobra Kai. Which girl is that?
Peyton List. And actually, she is also in School Spirits on Paramount Plus. And I actually reviewed season 2 of that show. Love that show. It's like spooky, kind of young adult high school vibes. And you know what? For people who have like Summer I Turned Pretty, check out School Spirits. You can actually binge season 1 on Netflix and then catch season 2 on Paramount Plus. Season 3 is coming early next year. So that's actually a
Wow.
good pull. Peyton List from Cobra Kai. She's got the right look for that. 100%.
Mm. I have no clue what you're talking about, but you are good at what you do. Like this channel is for you. I'm like, how much TV do you watch? Like, you know, every actor, what it's on. I'm like, yeah, that girl's mom, the dad, what's her name?
I've gotten better. I will say, like, my best friend is one of these people that seems to have like a photogenic memory for it. And I work for the
Yeah.
Padres, and like Mud, one of the announcers, he could tell you the name of literally like any movie character, any movie quote. My best friend, though, can tell you any actor. She's amazing. So I'm trying to get better. So I appreciate the compliment, but sometimes
Yeah.
I also run into that same thing where I can't like think of the name.
Oh,
But for
okay.
a show that I've covered before, yes, I
Yeah.
definitely try to,
Yeah.
be
Well,
all
I'll remind for
encompassing.
the people, it's the mom of so and so. Oh, I got it. Because I think the average person doesn't really like know all that, you know, like, or
Yeah.
sometimes the hardcore fanatics are, but good. You're good at this is why you have this show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And just really quick before we get a little bit more into the finale, what other shows are you watching right now? Or like what are you looking forward to this fall?
Well, of course, I know you don't watch reality TV, but I do. Love is Blind, the new season is coming out soon. I love that show. The last season, though, sucked. So I don't know. They better come back with it. I watch all the Real Housewives show. The Real Housewives. You're not going to be impressed with any of my show leads right now.
Hey, to each their own. We all have
yeah.
our like TV vibe.
Yeah, all the documentaries, things like that. That's what I watch. But
did you watch High School Catfish: The Unknown Number yet on Netflix?
Yes, I did. It was really good. That was
Blew
yeah.
my mind.
Yeah,
Blew
I
my
feel like I
mind.
need to go back and watch it now to pay more attention to, like now that I know the outcome, to pay more, like, what did I miss? But that's crazy. Like that whole thing. I mean, I feel like we're not doing a review on that, but I feel like the producers and all that left a lot of, like, the way they ended it they did it on purpose to make us think that it could have been a lot of other things also. But then they still just gave us a fact, Yeah.
Such an alarming reveal. We're not going to spoil it here, but if you haven't watched that, like, highly recommend it. Do you watch Survivor?
No, I that's the only one I don't watch, really. Yeah.
I think that's the only one I do watch. I watch some cooking shows as well, like Top Chef and whatnot. But Teresa in the comments, how about this? Jer and his wife will have 2 boys, and Conrad and Belly will have a girl and raise them similar. And then they start to see themselves in their kids. And what if it's a generational thing, right? What if there is like a 3rd movie in a Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy movie, and we get to see a flash forward of like their kids having done the same thing? Is that too redundant, or is that something that you would like to see?
Well, I think it's too family infested at this point.
Right.
Like if their kids start hooking up, now they are now related, actually, right? Like by blood now. We can't have that. That we're getting like, we can't have that. We can't have that. I don't know. I guess if they could figure that out, but I don't know. That might be too much for me.
Yes. John Charles Aguilar in the comments, did y'all watch the Charlie Sheen doc? I did not. I've heard it's really good, but I did watch the I Am Pee Wee Herman or the Paul Rubens doc,
Oh
and let me
yeah,
tell you, that was like one of the best things I've watched this year. It's going to end up on my top 10, but I do plan
yeah.
to watch the Charlie Sheen doc. Did you watch
My
it?
my boyfriend watched the Pee Wee Herman one, and he says I need to watch it, and I haven't. Which one is that on? What streaming network? So you could tell
Oh,
everyone.
the Paul
I feel like you
Rubens
would
one
know.
or the
Yeah,
Charlie Sheen one? The Paul
the
Rubens
Paul
one, I
Rubens.
am pretty
I call him Pee
sure
Wee
it is
Herman.
on HBO. It might be Peacock, but I think
Yeah,
it's HBO, like top of
yeah.
my
He said
head.
it was really good. I started the Charlie Sheen one, and I could not get through the first episode. I actually thought it was pretty boring. I'm going to continue to try to watch it, but I feel like, okay, the reason why I like documentaries is because they're pretty honest, right? And
Yes.
I feel like it was created too much movie like there's credits, and then we go to like they're talking about, they show like videos from his childhood. It just feels so, it makes me feel like it's not too authentic for a documentary. Because documentaries, I like when they actually get real. Again, I stopped it like halfway through the first season, 3/4 through the first season. I mean, the first episode. I'm sorry, for Charlie
Okay.
Sheen. I'll continue to try to watch, but I found it boring. Maybe
Sometimes
I
you just
think that was a little bit older of an era. So like he refers a lot to like a lot of stuff that I don't even know what he's talking about, kind of. So like when he grew up, it was cool to see, but I don't know. It didn't interest me too much. I felt like my mom would really like it though.
Okay, fair. I
Mhm.
want to watch it because I want to know about him addressing Corey Haim and the Corey Feldman stuff. Like
Yeah,
that's something
yeah,
that interests me, but I could also probably just Google it and don't necessarily need to watch
yeah.
it. But Henry's in the comments saying, "Did you watch We Were Liars?" And
Okay.
yes, that is also here on Prime Video. It dropped as a binge, 8 episodes. I actually reviewed it here on my channel. I have a season 1 review up of that. There's a kind of crazy twist in it. It is like The Summer I Turned Pretty in that it's sort of a young adult type of drama based on a book. I will say though, and I never do this, I actually only watched episodes 1 through 3. I skipped the middle, watched the recaps, and then watched the finale. And let me tell you, I actually don't think I missed much.
Yeah, that's how I watch TV. That's what I do with Love Island. I skip the middle, sup, and then I start like at episode 13, then I'm good.
Yes. And Nancy's here. School Spirits is so good. It really is, Nancy.
Which
And
one is that?
Milo Manheim is amazing. He is also in the Zombies franchise, and he's in the Little Shop of Horrors on Broadway, I believe. He's like my favorite in that show. I love him. He is coming back for a 3rd season, and he's one of the big reasons I watch the show, amongst many others. But
Wait, what is School Spirits? Where is that at?
so it's on Paramount Plus, and
Okay.
season 1's on Netflix. It's about
Okay.
basically a girl who dies at her high school, and she gets sort of trapped in the afterlife. And it turns out that other people have died at the high school, so there's this sort of like afterlife group of people from all different decades, and they're ghosts, and they're trying to solve Maddie, the main character, played by the Cobra Kai girl's murder. In season 2, there's like a really big twist. They get more into it, and then at the end of season 2, there's another twist. So season 3 is going to be sort of unpacking all that. But it's a supernatural young adult drama, and I love it. I like a lot of these young adult type of shows. I mean, I
Yeah.
grew up on Beverly Hills
Me
90210,
too.
and
Me too.
like
Yeah.
I just am kind of a sucker for them, and I like that
Yeah.
there's a little like darkness to it with the supernatural element. So for
Yeah.
me, that show is just like I love it, love it.
Yeah. I don't have Paramount Plus, so I
You
feel like
might
I
need to
have
get
everything.
it.
I can't subscribe to another one. That I already have to. I had to upgrade the Amazon today because I went ad free to make sure I watched it in time for this live. Because I came from work home to watch it, and then came here and I paid $2.99 more for the ad free. No more.
I love that. Yeah, ads are super annoying, especially like mid-show. That's crazy. So what time were you up in the morning? I mean, you do a morning radio show. What time do you wake up, and what time do you have to actually be to work?
I'm up like around 4-ish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I'm to work. Depends, like 5:30. We go live at 6, and then we're on from 6 to 10, and then I always say our real job starts after like meetings and social media and all the things. So this would normally be my nap time, but I was excited to do this though with you.
Thank you for sticking it out. I
Yeah.
mean, do you drink a lot of coffee throughout the course of a day, or is it more of like the daily afternoon nap for you?
Yeah, I don't drink coffee because I get headaches when I drink coffee, but I do. I'm not gonna lie, I drink some Celsius sometimes.
All right. Love
Yeah,
that. Love
yeah.
that.
Mhm.
Um,
My
other
cousin.
thoughts?
That's
on the
funny.
finale here. Let's see. Oh, we have another TV question, which is great. Have you girls watched the Jesse Smollett documentary? I actually have not. So I'm assuming you did, Teresa, and that it's good. Maybe I need to add it to my watch list.
Well, okay. What else do we need to know about this Jussie Smollett? I feel like we've heard so much of this forever. Like, what more is the documentary going to tell me? Like, I love documentaries. If we don't like, if there's like, oh, we haven't heard about it. Like how you said, he's going to speak on Charlie Sheen's going to speak on Corey Haim or whatever. Okay, that's something new. But what, like, I feel like we've heard every angle of the Jussie Smollett. Like, I don't know what else they could tell me. So know that, therefore, Hair by Teresa, I have not watched it. But if you tell me it's good and they're showing me something I haven't read on TMZ or whatever, I will give it a chance.
Fair, definitely
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're mostly obviously into the reality TV, but are there other shows like this, like The Summer I Turned Pretty, that you're into? You mentioned My Life with the Walter Boys. Are there
Yes.
any others in this same
Yeah.
sort of like genre that you like?
I don't usually, unless I like jump on somehow, like it catches my attention. But I am watching The Life of the Walter Boys. But I'm catching up. But if I'm open to stuff, so like people suggest me, I'll always give it one episode and try it out. And these kind of shows I feel like are good to like escape from reality, kind of, with like you just like are in this fantasy world of these love story of these. I mean, I felt like honestly it was a little embarrassing at the beginning because they're like teenagers. I'm a grown woman like following these little kids' love stories. But even my boyfriend liked it. He watched season 1, but then he stopped watching it with me. He's over there. But like that, but that's what this does. It gives you like, it gives you a break from reality. So if you suggest something, I will watch it.
Love that. And
Yeah.
to your point about escapism, I think that's one of the joys of television, just as an art. And a lot of people are like, oh, TV rots your brain. But I actually think the opposite. I think anybody who can come up with an idea, conceptualize it, bring it to life, and have people be so entertained by it, that is just such an artistry that I think needs more credit. It's like a cornerstone of our culture. And to your point about being like an older woman, I've commented on this as a middle-aged woman, even like School Spirits. I think Milo Manheim's really cute. Is it creepy that I'm in my mid-40s talking about these young people? I don't think so, because for me, at least, it actually brings me back to when I was that age and makes me relive some of my moments. I was in a love triangle myself. I actually had 2 prom dates to my junior prom because I was literally in the midst of like a love triangle, really interesting. So some of this stuff brings back memories, and I love reliving those moments and just have a new appreciation for like some of the decisions I've made, what I would have done differently, how things would have ended up, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think that's the point, and I think that's why it's great that like, I think TV and movies and all that like gives us like a sense of just like we can zone out, and it's entertainment, and it's serving a good purpose, like a major purpose that we need. If not, we would just be so consumed with like everything else going on. So yeah, I take that back. I'm not embarrassed. Like, your prom thing, that's right. Like you think about your own prom and you think about your own memories, and it brings back these memories. So that's when they did a good job. And for me, like my reality TV, everyone's like, how do you watch trash reality TV? But again, it's like taking you away from your reality, and it's so wild, but it's so entertaining that like you just don't even think about anything else really for those 60 minutes or 30 minutes, however long the episode is.
Yes, and a piece of that too, I think, is making your problems maybe not seem quite as bad as somebody else's, because you do see all of these crazy things that are transpiring. So I think there's a little piece of that as well.
Like, at least I'm not as crazy as them.
Exactly.
Real quick. We got it. So official John Charles Aguilar is actually my cousin. He said, have you seen the Luc Besson's Dogman on Prime? So he is actually in that movie. He is the main villain in that movie. So shout out to him. He's been on here. But yeah, it's on Amazon Prime. So if you want to watch that, that's my cousin.
Love that. Oh my gosh, I'll definitely add it to my watch list. I think that's really cool. And hey, also thanks, John, for being here in the comments. It's always fun doing these live streams to sort of hear what people are thinking. And even for people that don't watch live, just coming back to the comments, is fun. Because I think one of the most fun parts about talking about TV is sharing the conversation. And it's amazing to me how we as people can have such different perceptions to the same exact thing. Like we're watching the same thing, but the way it makes us feel, or the way we receive it, or the strong emotions that we're met with, it just is such a testament to the interpretation of TV as an art.
Yeah. And it's and it's cool that you can have so many different perspectives, and you don't have to like, you can have your perspective or, and I can have mine, and it's just different perspective, and it did its job. Who do you think is Simon? I'm constantly playing detective. Who's Simon?
Are we
What's
talking
Simon?
about Simon in School Spirits, perhaps? There's a big
Oh, okay,
storyline
okay.
with one of the
I'm
characters in School Spirits. I'm
oh,
assuming. Oh, that's your mom. That's so cute.
who's my? Oh, it's not
Oh,
my
did you say
mom.
that's your mom? Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry. I misheard.
No, no,
It's
it's
Nancy
okay.
asking who's Simon. I'm constantly playing detective. So I think Simon from School Spirits, because there's like a little
Oh, okay.
storyline going on with him. But
Oh,
Nancy, if you like School Spirits, definitely also catch up on my season 2 coverage. I'm going to come out with what we know about season 3 pretty soon here as well. But lots of other great shows coming up this fall. And we have some research to do, Geena, here on the
okay.
Summer I Turned Pretty
Oh,
movie
yes.
to figure out some details. When is it going to come out? How many are there going to be? Is it going
Yeah.
to pick up right where it left off? Are we going to have a trilogy? I mean, now I'm just manifesting like, okay, maybe we do need a trilogy and a
Yeah.
prequel and
Yeah.
another flash forward.
Yeah, well, one thing I'm good at is research. Like I, on our radio show on Channel 933, I do the Big Scoop, which is like the entertainment report, like at 6, 10, 7, 10, 8, 10, 9, 10. So by tomorrow morning, I will have all those details for you and I will text you them. But I am good at research and I'll find out everything I need to know about this because obviously the news just broke while we were live.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned you talked about doing the live in Summer I Turned Pretty on your show this morning. So also thank you for that.
Of
And
course.
just, I guess, final thoughts here on the series as a whole, the finale. What else is on your mind about it?
So I appreciate the Summer I Turned Pretty. Like I didn't know what to expect when I like literally just stumbled across it on Amazon. I had no clue like that it was like had a cold falling, that it was already going to go into season. I think I stumbled upon it right before season 3. I appreciate these kind of shows because they're like cute and they're love stories and they make you feel good, but then they, evoke emotion. So I think like, and I was telling my co-host, I was like, he's a guy. I'm like, no, I really think you would like it. I'm not gonna. My boyfriend's. I wish he would come over here, but he liked it. He's like a manly man, right? So it hits everybody if you give it a chance and Tal watch it. So and you watch it. So I appreciate it. I think there's definitely more. I think we're gonna have to wait and see. It's kind of made me want to go back and read the books. But
Yes.
yeah, I think there's definitely more to come, and well, it can go really any way.
Absolutely. Now, how would you rate this final season and the series finale on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 obviously being best.
The whole series, like the episode.
How about first your ranking for season 3 as a whole, and then your ranking for the finale as the final situation, even though I guess it's not actually final.
Okay, so I'm a tough critic. I mean, I will tune out of stuff really, really quick. And I wanted to watch every episode. So I'll give it a solid 8. A solid 8. And to me, that's good. That's a good rating for me.
Yeah, no, I'm right with you on an 8 because
Yeah.
I also feel like there's always room for improvement, and we have potential for having a full 10 in a movie if it can really hit us like that. And I think the finale, I like a bow ending where things are tied up nicely. So from that perspective, I do wish there was a little more tie up. But now that we know there's a movie, it makes sense. So I'm going to stick with an 8 for the finale and the season. I think that's a pretty fair number. It has been really entertaining, and I actually might go read the books now too.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
don't know, I kind of like to get more context. So
Do you think the actors, real quick, I know where I need it, but do you think that actors are going to get typecast at all? Like Belly, like will never be able to be anything other than Belly. Like I think the guys will be okay, but like Belly specifically.
I think there's a good chance of that. And for some actors, I definitely feel that. Like, I don't know if you watch This Is Us, but the Justin Hartley who played Kevin Pearson, he's on a new show, Tracker, and I just can't watch him in the show because for me, he's always Kevin Pearson. And there are definitely some cases where that is the fact, and I can see that happening with Lola Tung, who's the actress who plays Belly. I hope not, but also I'm thinking if this whole movie situation does turn into more of a franchise and more movies, I mean, maybe she'll just be working on this for so long that, maybe
Retire.
I don't know. I mean, who knows? But she could be great in another, I think, teen or young adult drama. She's still young enough and kind of has that energy. So, yeah,
I just think it's funny that when you're watching it, then it goes to a commercial and there she is in a Coach commercial. She's flying through the sky. And I'm like, wait, is that Belly in that commercial? And then she's in another commercial too. Like, has that happened to you? Well, I guess I had the ads before today. So I would see the ads.
Totally. Actually, the product placement has been really great. I mean, Coach has been like an advertising partner for them. And I guess the backpack that she wore to Paris, that blue backpack, is a Coach bag. So they've done well with the product placement. There was another thing I noticed with product placement. I think it was the Ollie like sleep gummy vitamins that were very
Oh,
prominently placed by Jer's nightstand. I'm always looking at product placement.
yeah,
I work in
yeah.
marketing too, so
Mhm.
I always have an eye for that. And actually, I think I'd be really good at being like a product placement person for TV shows. But
Yeah,
yeah, the coach thing is kind of funny because they're really doing this full comprehensive, tie-in of the brand and the product. And I mean, it's smart marketing.
yeah, 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 yeah. I'm ready for
Um,
whatever's next. I'll watch it.
Same. I mean, I can't wait. And yeah, so why don't we do this? Why don't we do some research on the movie when we know more? Maybe we can come back. And then also, I mean, Teresa's here saying this has been so much fun. And hey, Teresa, thank you so much for the donation. She says I want it to happen again. So, Geena, if there are any other shows that you would be interested in talking about, and maybe we can preview the movie and what we know and that sort of thing,
Yeah.
definitely let me know because obviously I love talking about TV and this has been a lot of fun. You are so much fun just
Oh,
as a
good.
guest, and
Good.
I appreciate you being here. And
Yeah. I'm
yeah,
down.
it's been
I'll
fun.
try to watch something other than reality TV. I'll take a peek and see. Or if you have any suggestions, send them over my way. I mean, like the new Stranger Things app. I watch Stranger Things, so when that comes out this fall, I'll definitely probably try to watch that.
You know what I just don't like are binge watches, right? Because I appreciate the week to week, the building tension, and it doesn't work for every show necessarily, but like Stranger
Oh,
Things, it's going to be a binge. It's so hard to watch it in one day. And you said before you like dark things and true crime and documentaries. So
yeah.
the Monster Ryan Murphy series on Netflix, the next one is
Oh.
coming out, I think October 3rd, and it's on Ed Gein. And
Oh,
Charlie
okay.
Hunnam is playing Ed Gein, who's a serial killer. For me, he is the worst serial killer I've literally ever heard of in my entire life. My favorite true crime podcast, a morbid podcast,
Oh.
did a
Mhm.
three-parter on this guy. This series of Monster, I think, is going to be so much worse than the Jeffrey Dahmer, than the Menendez
Oh,
brothers.
wow. Okay.
So, like,
I'll watch
highly
that. I'll watch that.
recommend.
I'll watch that. I'll
Yes.
watch that one. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to try to watch it too. Maybe we can come back and talk about it. I don't know. But either way, we are probably going to have more Summer I Turned Pretty stuff to talk about, which is
Yeah.
very exciting. And I can't believe this news broke. I mean, basically, like right before we actually went live
I
today. Perfect
know.
timing. I love
I
that.
know. We should have predicted that. I should have known this. Like everything is planned. I should know better. That's something, but it's been a long day. But I watched that killer one because I like weird stuff like that, dark stuff like that.
Oh, for sure. It's super dark. And hey, thank you to John. He just sent a super sticker as well. Super appreciate that. And then, Geena, what was the name of the movie on? It was the Dogman movies on Prime
Uh,
Video that
so
you said
so
he's in?
it's by Luc Besson. He's a director who did like all the Taken movies. He's like a big director.
Yes,
You know
yes,
the
yes.
Taken. So it's his movie. It's called Dogman. It came out what year? Like I think like a year, like either 1 year or 2 years ago. But it just dropped on Amazon Prime within this year, I think. But it's not the Dogman book series. It's not
Okay.
that. It's different. But it's called Dogman. It is a little dark. It is a little dark.
I
I
like
will say
dark.
that. It's not for kids. But my cousin, John Charles Aguilar, he plays the main villain. So you'll see him. He's like the head of it's not like a gang, but I don't know what you want to call him. But he's like the main guy, like the one. And something happens in there that me and our family make fun of him because we're like, oh, did that hurt? You'll know what I'm talking about if you watch it. It's a movie though.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Put that on my playlist. Absolutely. And Nancy says you definitely have to read the books. I think that's
Okay.
something I'm going to do. I covered another show, The Buccaneers, on Apple TV Plus. That's actually based on an unfinished book. And I love these shows that are adapted from books. And I don't always read the book first. In fact, sometimes I like to read them after to kind of like put a picture to who these characters look like. So when I'm reading the book, I can picture them more. I don't know. It's
So
just
is it worth reading the books after? Because sometimes I'm like, man, I don't want to waste my time. Like, is it that much different? Am I going to read the same thing? Like, do you think if you watch the movies and you go back, is it worth reading the books?
That's a good question because there have been times I've actually read the book first and then the show super disappointed me too. Like Daisy Jones and the Six. I loved the book, did not love the TV show as much.
Mm.
There was one, Apples Never Fall, on Peacock by the Big Little Lies author, Leanne Moriarty. And I think the show fell flat. But, I think it could go either way. It's hard to say. So I usually try to feel people out on like, should you read the books or not? Because sometimes people would be like, you know what, forget it. It's not even worth it. So.
But you said you read those are ones and you read the book first and then you watch a show, right?
Yeah,
Those two
yeah,
examples.
and they've ruined it for me, right?
And
So
and I
it
feel
makes
like a
me
lot of book people say that. But going back the opposite way, we might like it.
Yes, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like from now on, maybe I shouldn't be reading the book first. Maybe I should always watch first, kind of have the picture in my head, and then read the book if it's worth it. Because if it follows the book completely too, I mean, it seems like it might be a little bit of a waste of time. But if it does do something a little different, and it's interesting to me how some of these authors do go away from the book after having written it. I guess, some things work better on the screen, but
I think that, and I also think it comes down to time at the end of the day. I think they can fit a lot more in a book than 2 hours in a movie, right? And so why people that read the books first are so upset is because they couldn't include the certain details or the scene that they love. So it's like they had to take like 1,000 pages and put it into 2 hours, and I think that's why. But if we because I don't think I'd ever read a book first. I think I'd watch a movie and then go back and read the book. It's giving us more than what we got in the movie. So that's maybe why that works. I don't know. Just a scenario.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's always interesting with the books, like either way, before, after, I don't know. But it's amazing too that they actually have so many TV shows based on books, because it seems sometimes too like, where are the original ideas coming from? But that said too, some TV shows are greatly adapted from books and really come out wonderfully. So,
Yeah.
not always. We Were Liars. I don't know. I don't know if that really hit for me.
I don't know what show that is, but what is that on?
That's on Prime Video here as well. Someone had mentioned it earlier. It's like based on a book, young adult stuff. Good twist. But I feel like the book was probably better just having watched the show and not read the book. So I don't know, but
I feel like there's just so many on so many different networks. It's like hard to keep track, which is why probably people come to you so they can see what they want to watch, because I'm just like, wait, which one? What was that? Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, it's so hard to keep track. And then picking like which shows I'm going to review. I mean, right now, obviously just finished Summer I Turned Pretty and Dexter and doing Only Murders, but it kind of seems like people are out on that show. So I'm thinking, I don't even know if I'm going to continue doing videos, because people aren't really like talking about this season. I don't blame them. It's been 5 seasons of like murders in the same building every single time. So I get it. And then Gen V came out recently. I dropped a review on that. That's from the world of the boys, which I actually never watched, but Gen V, I guess you can watch sort of without the boys. So that's a thing. But spooky season TV too coming up. It Welcome to Derry, which is the prequel to It, yet another book adaptation, movie adaptation here. And then Telemasca, which is in the realm of the Anne Rice universe, Interview with the Vampire. So I'm going to be covering those shows next month, which I'm excited for. And then like some others coming out I'm excited for. Nobody Wants This on Netflix with Kristen Bell and Adam Brody. Did you watch season 1 of that show?
Chris, is that the one where she's dates a Jewish guy? No.
Yes, and she's like a sex podcaster.
Yeah. I like that one. Oh, when does that one come out?
I think it's like October 23rd or something like that. It's a binge drop, so it always sucks. Like, you got to binge the whole thing and then come and talk about it. But that's one I really can't wait for. I was hoping they'd win an Emmy, but they didn't. So
that one was good. That one was good. Henry had a good question that I think is for you, Media Melanie. What should we watch after The Summer I Turned Pretty? Like, if we're looking for the same type of genre, that, that feeling, we need more.
Yes. The Buccaneers on Apple TV Plus. So it's actually a historical romantic drama, but so heavy on the love triangles. And let me say, I am not a period drama girly. I don't like period shows, but I fell in love with The Buccaneers. It's got 2 seasons. It has this young and modern feel. It actually has similar soundtrack to The Summer I Turned Pretty as well. Some Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter, that sort of thing. So I definitely recommend The Buccaneers. And also School Spirits. We talked about that a little. It's a little more supernatural, but it has that young adult cornerstone to it with a little bit of mystery. That's on Paramount Plus. So I would say those 2 are good starting points. Yeah, I think those are, and My Life with the Walter Boys is pretty cute as well. It's definitely more like PG rated, not as much. They're not showing as much stuff, but I've got an 11-year-old daughter. So actually it's the perfect show to watch with a tween, because you're not getting a lot of that graphic stuff.
Yeah. I think that's good when you just need some happiness in your life and you're just like, I don't know, need to decompress. I watch like I'll watch a few episodes and I'll stop and then watch a few episodes. I still catching up. I don't even know what I think I'm on season 2 barely.
Oh, and you know what? John was saying Ginny and Georgia. That is actually another good poll. And I think I actually put out a video. I'll need to link it down below of shows to watch after you watch The Summer I Turned Pretty. For some reason, I'm drawing a blank on some of them now, but I know Buccaneers is definitely top of that list. And then somebody was mentioning too, Adolescence, the 15-year-old kid. I forgot his name. Owen something. Owen Cooper won the Emmy. Mm-hmm. He's like the youngest male actor in a supporting role to ever win. And let me tell you, that show is dark AF, but it is so impactful. It is still sitting with me. It's going to end up on my top shows of the year. They do a one shot in it where like the whole entire episode is like, one shot.
Yeah, I know.
Like from a production standpoint, that is incredibly hard to pull off. They did each one a full 4 times through and took the best one, which I guess was often the first take, but wildly impressive show. So good.
Yeah, I like that one. I saw that one. Anything dark, I got you. I'll watch that.
Yeah, love that.
You know what show I'm watching on Netflix, which I can't see you watching. I don't know, maybe I'm just is Beauty. Black is Beauty, I think, or Beauty is Black. It's a Tyler Perry series. They just dropped season 2. That one is dark, but it's good. Like the violence and like all that stuff. It's like you get like after I leave, I'm like want to be like, you know, there's just so much like killing and things like that going on, but it's like you can't stop watching it. Beauty is Black. Beauty is Black.
Okay, yeah, I will put that on my list. There are just so many shows that I want to watch that I'll never be able to. And that, again, is just a testament to all the creativity in the world of television. Like, I'll never be able to watch every show I want to because there are so many. And I think that's a good thing because we do need a form of escapism and just being able to, again, conceptualize, put it on your screen and have people be so vested in your product, I think is just really awesome. And Summer I Turned Pretty is the perfect example, especially now that we know they're having a movie and just keeping the franchise going. So that is like very exciting news.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I just want to thank you again for joining and tell everybody where they can follow your channel on YouTube.
Yeah, it's the Geena the Latina show, Geena with 2 E's, and it's way different than this, but it's like health and wellness. We share like, you know, I went through a big healing journey of with my health and like, you know, just, you know, I had two brothers killed when I was about 20 years ago, and since then to like get out of depression and all that, I've come across all these forms of modality, like different kind of I call it my therapy, but like Reiki and, you know, sound baths and everything. And I felt like I've learned so much over the years to get to where I'm at that I wanted to share that with the world. So each episode is on different kinds of things that I either have tried or they're all kind of in that space, but it's still me, if that makes sense. And so my personality. So I'm hoping to drop an episode like meditating with my dad, who, if you know, my dad is not like into meditation at all. So things like that. So it's the Geena Latina show. We're in season 3, hopefully going to have season 4. But you know how it is, man. It's people that are watching, they don't realize how hard it is to like just do this and keep it up and do lives every week and social media. It's like it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. And I've got to say, I've been making this my goal to become a full-time TV content creator. So every time somebody joins a live stream or likes or subscribes, it just helps us as creators get one step closer to, you know, where we want to be. So huge appreciation also just for everybody in the comments today. And, you know, I didn't realize that was why you started your show. I've watched some of your videos. I actually lost my brother about 11 years ago, and it is hard digging yourself out of that grief. And I think you just posted an Instagram about feeling guilty about like staying busy or you stay busy because it's a coping mechanism. And I really related to that. So, I mean, everyone needs to go and subscribe to your channel. And
Thank you. It's just everything I've learned. And I feel like if I have access, I've been privy to so much of my life through my job and my career, and I know other people can't, like, why not share everything I've learned? And it could be as basic as that, or just some kind of crazy retreat. I've tried it all almost. So it's really fun to explore all the different modalities and stuff. So I'm glad you resonated with it. But like again, back to real quick, like it's hard to produce content and to do all these things. But I think like I do that because it's my passion. and you do this because it's your passion, it obviously shows. Like you get so excited to like talk about like different TV shows or whatever. So like that would like be the goal, right? To like be able to do this full time for a passion. But when you have another job, and not that radio is not my passion, but like it's hard to do both. So kudos to you, because you don't have I'm assuming you don't have a whole, is it just you, one man show over there?
Just me. I do it all. I do the thumbnails, do the social media, do the
That's a
production,
lot.
do the editing. It is a lot, and I'm hoping it does pay off, because I believe we should all be able to monetize our passion, and that's like
Yeah.
what I'm going for.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's a fun journey creating, and I encourage. I mean, everybody out there, find your passion and find a way to make an income
Yeah.
stream about it. And I'm so grateful that we connected as well. Shout out to Hair by Teresa, who's been in the comments, and Desi at Beauty Collective Co. in San Diego. Their Instagram links are down below. And I'm just so thankful that we were able to connect and talk about this. And I
Mhm.
hope that we can do this again sometime. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm down. Just let me know whenever.
All right.
All
Will
right.
do. Well, hey, thank you so much, everybody,
Thank you.
especially everybody in the comments. This has been great. And I'll be back to talk TV again soon. So, on behalf of me and Geena, we are going to click right off. Bye, everybody.
Bye.